we got ourselves a nice little episode here. We got the Out of Your Falcon Mind guys here. We got John and Mike. And we do play the Falcons this year, guys.
Absolutely.
So
We're
we're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
We're going to be there.
Oh, we didn't. Yeah, well, then we're definitely going to be there. If y'all are coming to town, we ain't missing.
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So a lot to discuss, guys. I mean, our seasons were not fun. Some would say a kick in the castañas pretty hard.
The
man.
huevos. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And we talked before the season, all of us, and we're like, man, we're so pumped, man. We're going to have this. Both teams, we were both just so hyped. The energy around the team, man. Me and Mike and I were. I know y'all went to training camp. We went to training camp. I mean, everybody was hyped. It was the biggest crowds we've had in years, and it was just it's going to be fantastic. Started off 2-0. That was that.
All downhill from there.
It was a little bit up, and then it just came crashing down again. And it was just, I mean, roller coaster, man, all year long. Just an insane roller coaster.
Oh, there we go. Love that. Love that. Fly whistle.
Perfect.
Yeah, and Aether, just so you know, James is at a pickleball tournament, and I was just mentioning that he can get pretty aggressive. He gets pretty hyped up. The dog comes out in him. He starts yelling at pickleball, boy. I tell you what, I was like, whoo, boy, he got a little dog in him. I like it. It's good.
That's right. Get that.
I love it.
But we do have a lot in common because we're looking for new head coaches, so we could talk a lot about that. It's good to know, what's going on the other side of the pond, the NFC as well. So, I'm kind of excited to hear about you guys. We have one person in common that we might we should talk about, and that's Bill Belichick. And I think I think there's a lot of synergies in that conversation too. So, guys,
before we even start on that, Drew, hold on, Drew, because I just have to say this. It was a hard time for us for the season. It was some hurtful drops in it, like John said. It was some sad days, right? And I pride us on, like, we got it. Here's what I think. No matter what's going on, I'm like, how can we make this shit funny, right? No matter what's going on. And it's only one group of people in the United States that are doing the same thing every week. I can go on Instagram and I can count it. I can count on it that the Ball Bros are thinking, how do we make this tragedy funny? There's a joke coming because everyone else is like, I hate mother. And I start off like that, but then it always okay, how can we make a joke out of this? And y'all do that, like, I mean, top tier. Like, and that's why I love being on your show. And that's why I love y'all, because y'all will turn some shit that people are really pissed about. And you got to know how special that is. If I'm pissed and I join your show, I'm trying to vent how pissed I am. If you can change my entire mood to where I ain't even pissed no more, now I'm laughing and it's just all good, man, that's some powerful shit. So that's why I love the Balt Bros, best podcast in the world. And I always say this, it's why it's the only one that I can count on doing the same shit. Like, I know it's gonna be some crazy, like, I be seeing some of the shit y'all do, and I'll be like, these dudes are out of their Falcon mind. I don't care if they're on the West Coast.
That's right.
These dudes have lost their Falcon mind, and I love it, man. So I just wanted to give I always want to give y'all props for turning it positive. And I know that it hurt y'all. So it's kind of hard to have a joke, when you just as hurt as everybody else, but y'all don't understand what it does for everybody else who be really mad, and you turn that frown upside down. I fucking love you guys. Because I kind of think we do the same shit. So I love you.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's get this thing kicked off, guys. So I'll hit the button.
Day intro. Let's go.
Let's go, guys.
I'm Deion Henley. You watching the Boat Bros podcast? Let's do it!
Yes, we out here, baby.
Oh yeah. We got some funny memes to start everything off here, guys.
Actually, I should put this one out first, though. Like, both of our seasons.
Both of our seasons, absolute disaster.
You could have done that. You could have done like a toilet bowl type of sound. Any of those things would have worked.
Oh,
That would have been
okay.
perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Watching Jim win. Hilarious.
Yeah. Man.
But this is a good one here, right? You got our owner, Mr. Spanos, watching Jim win the national championship, realizing Jim's price probably went up, folks. There's a lot to discuss on that, right? And again, I think a lot of teams want the Chargers because holy smokes, man, we got talent. We just we need somebody to step in and fix it. And Atlanta has talent. They have plenty of talent, right? So they're good. So it's tough, right? And Darth Panic says he ain't paying for Jim. We'll see.
A lot of people saying that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are just lowering their expectations, because we don't want to set ourselves up for disappointment, and I think that's how you got to be a Chargers fan and a Falcons fan. I think we both learned that lesson this year.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, can't get too high, man. Can't get too high.
Yeah.
So Aether has a question for the Out of Your Falcon Mind podcast. The question is, what was the last time Harbaugh faced the Falcons?
Ooh.
That'd have been what? With the 49ers?
Yeah, it had been 49ers.
2012, maybe?
Anywhere from
2013?
Anywhere from the 11 to 14. I don't know the specific
somewhere in there.
year.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
And I hope you know the answer, sir.
You asked us.
Aether's Aether's the guy that throws a lot of stats at us. He always brings
he brings the heat. Yeah. He's the guy. Yeah.
That would have been might have been the John Abraham hurt game, possibly. I can't remember. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of things we kind of just put out of our mind, kind of gloss over the years. So it's like, yeah, that makes sense. I think
Bros, I do have to ask you a question. I want to know if you had to pick one thing from your season that was your personal greatest frustration that you had to watch all year. You had to pick one. It would be what?
Oh man,
easily for me is the defense.
What about the defense?
Okay, the defense, just how badly we performed, because we have a defensive head coach and we were literally almost ranked dead last. Guys, just so you know, 1-9 in one-score games in the NFL. We set a NFL record. 1-9. That's horrible, folks.
Damn.
And guys, in the chat, that's a great question, Mike. What do you think? What was the worst thing that happened this season, for the Chargers? And then I'm going to throw it back to you as Falcons fans. What was it for you? And Kyle, what do you think? Great question.
Yeah. Yeah, I would hear the Falcons, but you guys have to say first, for you guys.
Well, for us, it's the offense. It was, we had an offensive coach, average 18 points a game, and that was, the quarterback play was terrible. There was high points, but they were few and far between. There wasn't consistent play. There was a game or two. You're like, oh shit, okay, this could be the guy. And then very next game, it's terrible again. And just inconsistency, man. The defense was leaps and bounds better than last year. Top 10 defense.
Yeah.
Just guys were balling out, and the offense just couldn't hold up their end of the bargain, man. And we were 2-6 against teams with losing records. So, that's
wow.
That's a killer. That's a killer, man.
That's brutal.
That's the difference of being in the playoffs and not. For in our shitty division that we're in. Yeah. That should have been you lose to the Panthers, you lose to the Vikings, where Josh Dobbs had gotten off the plane a few days prior to start. You lose to the Cardinals. Right. It was, it was just unacceptable losses like that just totally cost our season. So
yeah. My for me, it was specifically the run game. Our run game was non-existent all year round, and what frustrates me the most about that, obviously, I don't know if you followed up on a little bit of the drama behind Austin Eckler all the offseason, that he wanted to have a extension, 3 or 4 year. No one was going to give it to him. They did ask people around. And basically he just sandbagged the entire year. He just very little effort the entire year. Like, I think his top speed this year was like 14 miles per hour. It's like, come on, dude.
Really? Damn.
Like, man,
Yeah,
I mean, I
slow.
can run that. I can run that. And if I pull hamstrings both doing it at that speed, But I mean, I'm just like, dude, like, but it wasn't just him though, too. Joshua Kelly didn't do much either, So like, I mean, was it our offensive line just not doing well, or is it just the running backs as well? It's very frustrating, like, because when we had like the last 2 seasons, Austin Eckler had like over 1,600 scrimmage yards and 20 touchdowns every single year. The last 2 seasons, this year he just didn't perform. The F is that, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, but it bring. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
No, you're good. The only thing I was gonna, you're good. The only thing I was gonna say that with us, the run game was it's like Locked On Falcons here. Aaron Freeman did a great job breaking it down this week, but the run game was still 8th in the league. But as far as like success, as far as like success rates and some of the DVOA stats, 28th, 29th, 30th. Like it was still like it took a huge, because last year we're talking about top 5 running game.
Right.
So that's really we were just betting on the running game being the main source. We had Bijan, we got Tyler Algier, those 2 guys just leading the charge, and then the quarterback would just be kind of secondary. It's like, okay, we got tons of weapons, as long as the run game was working, and that just didn't. I mean, we would get some yards, but they weren't like, they didn't amass a whole lot. It was just kind of empty yards, if that makes sense. I mean, it was just so it didn't, which doesn't play well for a young quarterback trying to figure things out, and the head coach / play caller not really doing him any favors himself too. So it was kind of a combination of things. But yeah, the run game taking that dip was not anything anybody expected, which is really what screwed us up for most of the year.
Yeah.
So Aether answered his questions. The January 2014.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
See, why is Aether got to like bring those bad memories?
Like that sad memory. Come on, man.
You're opening up that wound.
You could have asked us a winning question. So.
Oh, Niners showed up here too. Damn.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Look, man, we're so fucking hardened, dude. There's nothing like the 28-3 doesn't even. We don't even budget 28-3 anymore, man.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan question.
Mr. Baloney himself.
Yeah, I mean, folks, we can joke. Folks, go ahead.
He said it. He said biggest frustration was not firing Staley. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all hate Staley, man.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
The argument was that man. Yeah, exactly. Well, and then the argument though is that
let's go, bro.
Let's go, Brandon Staley. Yeah. Apparently, Harbaugh wanted the Chargers last year. That's the rumor, that he wanted to come to the Chargers last year, and also Dan Quinn. A lot of people approached to the Chargers and said, "Hey," because they want Herbert, right?
Right.
I mean, what's the hardest thing to get as a head coach?
100%.
A top 5 quarterback. Dude, the kid's 25 years old. And let me ask you guys this, okay? You guys have a young quarterback as well. My thought is, and also in the chat. Well, okay, maybe not.
You still don't have a quarterback. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
But so there comes a point where you have to stop saying, "Okay, you're so good, and actually coach the guy. I think people have just let Justin Herbert be Justin Herbert. Here's the play. Do what you want to do. He's not Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes kind of does that. I think Herbert needs a little more direction. So he needs someone with a little more discipline and say, no, the play is designed to go this way. You throw, this is your read. 1, 2, 3, check down. 1, 2, 3, check down, whatever. So do you think a young quarterback has a hard time making the transition to what the NFL offensive coordinator is trying to do? Or do you think a lot of people are just trying to off script? I mean, what's your general take on all that?
Mike?
Man, it truly depends on the quarterback, because I'm going to tell you this. There are very few players who just come in who you could say go.
Yep.
And he's just going to improvise and do his thing. And I mean very few. It's like 1 out of 100. But like the average, you got to study. It's like a mental position. So you got to understand the defenses. And a lot of quarterbacks don't put that time into it. Yep. So that's why you see, if you saw us play, the picks he throwing were maddening because it was right to the person. Yep. It wasn't like he had to stretch a one arm, he was throwing the ball like right to the other team. It was like it was his catch. So I'm thinking, man, if he's sports betting, do you got a parlay happening somewhere? It's something going on. So it's just not a lot of those guys. But I will say this, and I'll say this again: that is why you gotta appreciate the guy you have. I don't care if he's dynamic. So he may not have a spin move and be fast and could throw a bomb, but when you got Matt Ryan and he's throwing for 2 touchdowns and 300 a game, and you start whining saying, well, he's not fast, he can't break a run, and he don't got a deep ball he can throw. Well, maybe you're happy with him now. Because I'm gonna tell you something, it's real picky if you got spam and you don't want to spam. I don't want to eat this spam. But if it's between spam and a pile of shit, you will take that spam. You gonna want the spam.
Well said.
Right? So I just feel like it does have you appreciate that space even more. If you got a guy in that space, you have to keep that guy, and y'all have that guy in that space. So I understand why you want to keep that guy. Is you don't go trading him and trying to see what you could get for him. That's the guy, and you want him to stay in that space as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, I mean for Mike and I did an entire show on quarterbacks about a year ago, and just the hit rate is so low, man. It's like it's insanely low. It doesn't matter when they're drafted. It could be number 1 overall. It could be 6th round. It's just like there's no way to clearly see, okay, this guy's definitely going to transition to the NFL, because they just don't know if it's got to be a good system fit. And then they're not used to these defenses where every guy is amazing. They're used to, college, a small percentage of the college players go on to play pro. So, they all talk about the speed of the game. Everything is so different. That's true. So it's just how fast can they acclimate? How fast can they process what they see in front of them? And some are just clearly better than others. I mean, and for instance, the year that Mahomes was drafted, right? Mr. Trubisky was like, oh, he's definitely better than Mahomes.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, like that didn't work out. I mean, so it's just, you just never know, dude. So yeah, whenever you get one, that's like, we're going through now. It's like, we totally bet on Desmond Ridder, our, a 3rd round pick, which, and so did the coach. That's why he's not here anymore. He bet on him and said, you know what, this guy can work. He can be league average with what we've got around him. Should be no problem. We've built up, we got a good offensive line, got a good running game. We got this and got that. Still doesn't work. So, I mean, like, it's like that's the most important position and you can't miss on it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about like Brock Purdy. He's a great example. Mr. Irrelevant. And he did great, but he's got great weapons around him. And maybe that's what it is he just has more stuff. Okay, good question here from Dennis Young. Why Kyle Pitts not used in Atlanta? Or why was Kyle Pitts?
Okay, so he was coming off an MCL injury from last year. And even saying that, Mike and I, everybody, the entire fan base was like, okay, even with the MCL, like it should be well healed by now, and he should be definitely looking faster. And I started doing all 22 reviews about halfway through the season. That we put out videos, and like you just see it every week. Like there was no explosion, there was no speed. I mean, like he was not the same guy. So we kept thinking, he's got to be hurt. He's got to be like more hurt than we're letting on. Yeah. We didn't know because Arthur Smith didn't tell us. The team didn't say anything. Kyle didn't say anything. So, and then about 3 or 4 days ago, Kyle puts out on his IG, it was MCL and a PCL. Which the PCL is the main stabilizer in your knee. So so that explains a hell of a lot why he wasn't cutting like what he used to or explosion out of those cuts. That's the main thing that totally makes sense. So it's a combination of things. It was quarterback play not being good, not necessarily having some fantastic play calls, and him just not being close to 100%. It was, just not even close. I mean, he's looking forward to another big year this year, and I hope we keep him because he's a hell of a weapon. It's just a matter of whoever this coach is going to be, what they see, how they want to see him. Because we were basically, he was no longer a tight end. He lined up primarily in the slot or even outside. He lined out. He only lined up inside as a tight end 20% of the time. It was. Yeah, he was mainly basically a wide receiver. Yeah, for the most part. But that's why it was maddening for all of us because we're like, man, we know what kind of talent this guy has. We figured something else had to be going on. So
And John has to add on a very stupid coach. He didn't want to say that, but a very stupid coach. You have to scheme for him. He's a mismatch, and you don't even take advantage of it. Very stupid coach.
See, it's interesting, and that's things Brandon Staley didn't do as well too. Kyle, did you have a thought there?
Well, I was just gonna say, you guys are kind of going around the bush, and by like Mike was saying, is that really just shit rolls downhill. Bottom line, it's like it all starts at the top, and like in both of our coaches just didn't understand the team that they had, like in the potential that each player had, and so they underutilized so many players because these were their guys, like this is a Staley guy, this is an Arthur Smith guy, it's like, all this stuff. It's like, okay, then they get favoritism, and that's just not how you do things, like you just
not in the NFL.
Not in the NFL, man. Yeah.
The Chargers, man, like us, have special skill players who got special skills, who could do special things.
Yep.
Right.
That you have to study who you're playing to know how to use them and against who. Like who's hurt, he's like faster than him. He gonna be like taller than him for like jump balls. You got to study that. And when your coach doesn't take advantage of that, he makes no adjustment. It's like where he didn't do his job as a coach. So we got to start there. You got to know how to use these players. Dog, it don't matter if you got Flash, Superman, Thanos, Batman. If you don't know how to use these things, then you still lose the game. Now, if you know how to use Flash and you know how to have Superman fly and you know how to use all that, then it's a dynamic thing to watch. But you got to know how to use what you got.
Yeah, we came out of the bye week thinking, all right, so Art's probably kind of did some self-evaluation here, kind of see what worked, what didn't work. We're going to see more of what does work or what plays more to the QB's strengths, It's the same shit. It was the same. It was just like, no, we're going to keep doing the same thing, and it's not like that. I mean, a lot of two-man route combinations that actually work other places because they have the personnel to run it. We don't have a ton of speed at wide receiver. So if you're running that where one guy's total job is just to clear out, but that guy's not a fast guy, then that's probably not something you should run a whole lot, because what happened was both those guys were covered the entire time, and the only thing he has is a check down, which may or may not be covered. So it was just, and it was just, that was just one example, but it was just, there was other shit. You're like, dude, like that's not, we've seen this before. It doesn't work. I don't understand. I'm stubborn.
So why don't NFL head coaches make adjustments like that? Brandon Staley is a great example.
Yeah,
he had this pattern match zone defense. He's like, no, we're just going to keep running. I'm like, bro, you did it all wrong. Yeah. So what do you guys think on that? And then in the chat, what do you think? Why?
And I didn't think
square peg, round hole.
Yeah.
We weren't asking to like change the playbook. We were just like, hey, won't you just pick and choose though? Like, hey, this has worked like 2% of the time, so maybe let's not do this one.
Bro, but here's what I'll say, man. I studied that because I'm thinking it's just common sense. He would see that his play doesn't work. Here's why I believe is that I think the hardest thing in the world is to 2020 your own self. 2020, how you see other people. When you studying whoever else, you could see the flaw. He jumped. He didn't stand up straight. He didn't run his route. He didn't block. You 2020 vision. When it's on you, man, you Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder when it's on yourself. Like me, like if I was wrong, like I contributed, and I think there's not a lot of people in the world who can do that. And it just transfers into coaching. So it's the same thing with coaching, and it's just regular people who just not like, I'm not doing it wrong. If they would only do it how I drew it up. Right. And you like, they did. It's not working. And it's just hard to do that. But I had a question for y'all. I thought it was a great question. Here's what I have to know. Justin Herbert is here. From what I'm hearing from y'all, man, I think he's great. But from what I'm hearing from y'all, he can go up a notch.
Oh, easy.
What do you think takes him up? Is it a new coach, a new OC, or a new quarterback coach? If you had to pick from those three, what do you think is going to take him up to the next notch?
Kyle, you want to answer that, or you like me to go for it first?
Oh, sure.
And then in the chat also.
Answer that in the chat. Yeah. So I'll go first. Yeah, sure. I say the answer is D. He needs to go to like a training camp to learn how to really be a more effective leader. Like I mean, I honestly, it's going to be very controversial to us Chargers fans, but like, I feel like I do like the fact that he's a very quiet quarterback, and he's kind of cool as a cucumber all day long and stuff like that. But I do feel like he needs to learn how to actually lead his team and get his team fired up like better, and actually literally be the true captain of that position. Because if he learns to have a little bit more leadership ability, then he will be able to make the correct audibles, and he'll be able to read the defenses better and actually get them, because he's there on the front line. The coach is going to give him the plays, but then he needs to see what the defense is doing, and then he's be able to be like, oh, this is a blitz, or this is cover 2, this is cover 3. Yeah, so I think it falls on himself, I feel like, personally, to become a more effective leader, to take him to the next level.
Yeah, one thing I would say is Herbert made it hard on himself. He did not make it easy. If you study a lot of the plays, the way they were designed, he would go after the hardest throw. It was probably the deepest throw, and he would make it a lot of times. But he could have taken the easier throw and maybe gotten a first down, right? But he's throwing it down. Again, remember, we had 3 of our main wide receivers go down. Allen, Williams, even Palmer was out for most of the season, right? And then QJ our rookie was basically a bust. he was okay. And our tight end, our blocking, and we could talk about all that stuff too. But to me, you need Brandon Staley was, and again, guys in the chat also, and Kyle and everyone, what do you think? As far as the head coach is concerned, I think part of the problem with everyone wanted to be Herbert's friend. He doesn't need a friend. He needs a coach. He needs someone to sit down and say, this is how I drew it up. Do it the way I'm telling you to do it. And that's something Harbaugh would do. That's something Belichick would do. Okay. And he would keep it very simple. This is how you do it. Now, just go execute. I promise you that's exactly what Brock Purdy's doing with the Niners. But you got Brandon Staley being everybody's friend, and it just didn't work that way. I was even reading reports that players weren't really practicing. They were there just kind of hanging out on the side, loafing, right? They weren't putting the effort in. So he needs more discipline. That's probably the right way. And again, the leadership portion as well too. And again, I think that's really what something Harbaugh, maybe even Belichick, would do. Get that dog in him.
How did Kellen Moore fit in? Like, how did he do?
That's a great question. I think he did a great job. Okay, at the very beginning of the season, I'll say this. Kyle, I don't know if you remember this. This happened, I think, before the preseason game. He was talking about how Justin Herbert makes the hard throw all the time. He's like, he started talking about, wow, it was a great throw. Amazing. It worked. He goes, but that's not how the play was drawn up. And he said, well, we could talk about running it that way after you start running it the way I want you to. That was preseason. So it makes me think that he never corrected him and said, no, you need to play the play as I drew it up. I'm doing it because they're running this defense against us, and we can expose that defense. So to me, I felt like Herbert, it can be a little bit of a loose cannon, right? I mean, the guy's got it's like one of the best arms in the league.
Oh yeah.
But secondarily, run the play like it was designed. And
like
I think
young Kobe Bryant.
Exactly.
Is what you're saying.
I mean,
I wouldn't go that far. I'm not going that far.
Right.
Yeah. Like a lot of
who, if you had to pick an older veteran who's like young retired, who are you picking to put that in Herbert? Who would you pick to train him so he can kind of get his mentality, his attitude? Like who do you want him to be like? Who do you want to train him?
Shit, would you give Philip a call?
Yeah, Philip maybe.
I mean, he had the attitude.
He did, but his emotions got in his way.
Exactly,
Again, I think that's why a lot of people want Herbert or Belichick. Now, Ben Johnson would be great, but Ben Johnson is also a first-time head coach. Yeah, he's really smart, but if he's going off script all the time and not really running the play as it's designed, well, what's the point of having an awesome head coach like a Ben Johnson? You're basically eliminating the benefit of having him there. Like, well, what's the point of him being there? I think he needs you ever go bowling and you got those little bumpers? You know, you throw the bumpers in so you don't get a gutter ball.
Yeah.
That's my take on it, right? You need someone to put him in the right way, right? And say, hey, man, you're badass, but let's get you going the right direction. And then I think a little more confidence will come out. That's my take. I don't know, guys. What do you think? And then what do you think in the chat as well?
I honestly, I've been thinking this a little bit now too. It's like as a backup quarterback, I would like Cam Newton to show up, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll definitely get plenty of personality.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. Because like because I mean I don't know if you've seen some of like the TikToks he does where he did that. I mean his cadence is so on fire like all the time that like he created like in one game like I think 15 offsides calls or something like that. Like maybe it wasn't 15, but but it was a lot. And like that would actually really be really good. But like he's got that swag, like and he's got that dog in him too, like and he has been to the Super Bowl, like I mean I think he's like because this is one thing that I realized, this year for sure is that you really need a solid backup quarterback because what if your main guy goes down,
Well,
yeah, it's like, yeah,
dog, he just got to be lucid. He just can't be Joe Biden.
Yep.
I mean, when
when
your quarterback come in and he looking like Joe Biden, you don't know what's going on. Just to be lucid, be a functional human who can read and write. That's all I need to do.
Right.
Because what we had was,
oh
man.
my God.
Yeah.
Right.
We paid Tyler Heineke. Well, we didn't pay him, but he's got he had a huge contract to come in and be a backup just in case. And I'd be damned if he wasn't worse than Ritter, man. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think when we talk about that, but I think this guy would make that happen. And guys, just so you guys know, we are
100%.
interviewing Harbaugh next week. It's already been discussed.
I've heard. Hey, you know what? I mean, I saw the rumors are that like we can hire him as early as tomorrow.
Yeah, correct.
14th.
Yep.
So
if y'all take him from us, I will never forgive the Balt Bros. Okay? I love the Balt Bros with all my heart, but if y'all take this man from that Atlanta Falcons, I will never forgive you all, man. Because we need him so bad too. For the same reasons, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, well, I mean, like I said, like y'all the Chargers east of the Mississippi, we the Falcons west of the Mississippi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So look, question, guys. Because I always ask John this: do you think that the problems the Chargers are having are a tweakable thing, where it's just if we tweak something, we get in the playoffs and we competing, or do you think, but it's going to take some real work, some years, or do you think it's a tweak?
I think good coaching could get you in. Great example. And actually, Aether, what was the record of the Niners prior to Harbaugh showing up? Guys, think about this for a second. He's still the 5th winningest head coach in the NFL right now, Jim Harbaugh.
That's crazy.
44-17, something like that.
Yeah,
right?
19, something like it's in the teens, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And secondarily, the Niners were like 6-10 or something like that. Yeah, 6-10. And here we go. Aether, 6. Here we go. Perfect. Hey, Aether, we're on the same page.
It was 6-10 before. Yeah.
And then they ended up being 14-3 or something like that the next season. First season as a head coach. And went to kicked butt, right? And I think people need structure. That's my point, right? And if you could just do whatever you want, just okay, whatever. I mean, I even look at QJ, our number 1 wide receiver that we drafted. That kid has no structure. Nobody sat him down and coached him up and said, "Bro, use both hands. Why are you trying to catch the ball with one hand?"
Yeah.
And he didn't get called out. Oh, here we go. Aether, here we go. Yeah. So, what do you guys think? 44-19, guys.
That's crazy.
I just saw 49-22-1. Either way, it's ridiculous. But.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
13-3.
And everyone needs molding. And so here's the big rumor too, though. Bill Belichick, obviously. But they say his first choice is the Chargers. Second choice would be what? The Falcons. So you guys want Belichick? What do y'all think?
No.
Okay.
Because here's why. Greatest coach of all time, but we already got a defense in place that I don't want to tamper with. That I know he's going to tamper with because he's a defensive guy. I just don't want the defense tamper with.
Yeah.
But great coach. I'm not taking anything away from him. Just he's a defensive guy, and I don't want my defense to change. So that's the only reason.
It'd be weird because we had we had Dean Pease, last year, and they run a similar defense. So he runs similar to what the Patriots ran, right? So we kind of stopped. We still have some holdovers from that, but we went and got guys to fit our new defense with Ryan Nielsen. So it's like, I mean, now we have to go back, because there's no way the Bills going to keep Ryan Nielsen because they run, for a fact Bill's going to run his defense, so then what? We lose out on a fantastic defensive coach that we have. The personnel, you don't know what's going to happen with those guys. And look, I'm not so worried about the defense if he comes because overall he's going to run. He will have a good defense, so that doesn't scare me to death. But the fact that he's 72, I don't know how long he wants to coach.
Yeah.
Is he bringing Josh McDaniels with him? McDaniels is a good OC, terrible head coach. So that's not in the world either. But is he going to pick a quarterback? Because I don't want that shit either. Because he's terrible at picking players, especially as far as the draft. We need a quarterback. So, and the draft is top heavy with some really good quarterbacks this year that I would love to move up and grab. But I don't think he's going to do that. If to me he's going to come, if he's coming, he's going to get Kirk Cousins. He's going to get Russell Wilson, and we may draft a day 2 guy, or something like that, and just have him sit underneath them. I don't know. I think Blank is under a lot of pressure to win now. So I just saw we're interviewing Steve Wilkes and what was the other one tomorrow I think. So Anthony Weaver. We've already interviewed Mike McDaniel, who's the DC for the Ravens. We're interviewing Anthony Weaver, who's the associate head coach for the Ravens, and then we've got Wilkes coming up, Brian Callahan from the Bengals, and then a laundry list of other guys. We've literally requested every single guy that's out there. Yeah. So I don't know what
John knew that offhand. I just want to show y'all. Here's why that man is the GOAT. John knew those names offhand. He just rattled off 9 people we interviewed. I didn't know none of that.
Yeah,
I would have been saying, "Yeah, we did." I didn't know who we. John just rattled that off his head. The GOAT,
right?
That's why I called him the GOAT.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yep.
Well, you know why they do that a lot too is you never know how it's going to play out. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, maybe a couple of years down the road, right? So you can start building, information around these people. Okay, well, what are they like? And kind of build a portfolio of conversations, like dating, right? Hey, I like this person. This is a blonde. We got a brunette. We got a, whatever, and you get it. You guys get the idea.
Hang on a second, guys. We got a new challenger in the chat here.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, what up? Hey, I entered the corner and press start like an old arcade game. I'm in. Let's go.
Oh, that's right. I like it.
Go, buddy.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
go.
What up, man?
Hey,
I love it.
so James, how did you do in your pickleball tournament? What was the final outcome? What happened?
So we got into the winner's bracket. We ended up going into the 3rd place game, and I ended up getting a nice medal. So I ended up winning third place. So
congrats.
I'll take it, man. It was a really, really good tournament all around. So
yeah, it was fun. Some cool.
Pickleball was awesome this morning. So very good time.
And look, he still made the podcast, man. Okay,
that's right.
Man. Hold on, man. Dion, he played for the Braves and the Falcons in the same day.
Yeah,
Look at
that.
The double play.
I'm on that level.
Andy played offense and defense.
And defense.
Yeah.
Shout out to James for pulling the Dion.
Dion, that's right.
Hey, I love being able to be in the same, it's James Sawyer, Deion Sanders. I'm in that range. Hall of Famer, baby. Let's go.
Hey, James, I was saying, I was like, man, James got some dog in him, dude. When he starts playing out there, man, you're getting all heated, throwing your paddle around. Like you're getting pretty focused, man.
It's when you got that competitor and you just go, man. You just go. Like you just go and hey, look, man, that's the thing. And I've been listening to a little bit of the podcast too as I was driving back over and everything too. That's a thing that I think that some of our players even did lack a little bit. I think Kyle talked a little bit about Justin Herbert in the sense that I think that he needs to have that extra step as a leader, and he needs to have that in him a little bit more.
That's a wolf. That's a wolf. That's cool.
It's all, you got to be a wolf or a sheep when you're a freaking
there you
player,
go.
Yeah.
So, who do you have on the team who you would want the team to carry his attitude? Is there a player on your team that if we could all get like him?
Oh, for me that's easy. That's Khalil Mack.
Yeah,
Khalil Mack. Gotcha.
The thing about Khalil Mack, he's quiet. He doesn't. I think Herbert can be like Khalil Mack. I think he's more a similar personality. He doesn't like to talk a lot. He just wants to go out and do it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't turn it on like Khalil Mack. What do you guys think in the chat as well, too, on that? You know, who would you think?
I really, and I would concur with that one, Andrew. I mean, the thing about Khalil Mack, he is an absolute professional at his position. And what I mean by that, the way he sacks a quarterback, you know how some guys want to just boom, lift on top of him, penalty or whatnot. He sacks a quarterback in the way the NFL wants it. Once again, if you just put a little pillow underneath the quarterback,
nice,
you know, make sure he's comfortable, you know, don't try to hurt him or anything. Just, you know, make him feel comfortable with that, taking that sack kind of thing.
Scratches his neck before he gets up.
Exactly. Rub the back a little bit, dude. Just, you know, you're good. You're good. I mean, he was such a like true
R&B.
Yeah, that's right.
Laying down by the fire.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
In the background.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but when he was on the field, he just changed. You just evolve into a different player. And that's the whole thing that I think Khalil Mack did. And that's one thing I would love to be able to see, you know, Justin Herbert unleash that a little bit more in him. And to be honest, he's a very similar personality, quiet guy, highly talented. Just got to find that dog in him a little bit further.
Got to find that dog.
Oh,
yeah.
All of y'all want the dog in
T-Rex.
Herbert. All three of y'all are saying the same thing about Herbert. I just want the dog in him.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think he's a very smart guy, right? I think maybe he's either overthinking things or just trying to go for the heart. Because again, like remember last year, we were doing the checkdowns. Eckler. And okay, we're bringing in Kellen Moore to drive the ball downfield. It was one or the other. It was just, there was nothing in between. And look, you got to look at Tom Brady, or AKA Tom Shady. And he did it because he was able to kind of just get the check. He would get the 10-yard pass. You get the 5-yard pass, move the ball downfield, take the easy throw instead of making things difficult.
Right.
Yeah, but Herbert just made it hard on himself. That's one of the things I would say he needs to fix in his game.
Hey, we didn't ask you guys. What do y'all? I mean, if Bill is the play for you guys, what do y'all think? Do y'all want Belichick there?
No, I don't like Belichick.
I wouldn't mind it though. But I mean, I just think he's too old. Like he's 71 years old.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard to connect with 20-year-old, you know, even 30-year-old players at that point. You know, like and just like we've talked about, he's not good at the draft. He's not good at leading the team anymore. You know, like he has made his mark in the NFL. Time to move on.
Yeah.
The thing about Belichick, in my opinion, I mean, that guy knows how to win with the right quarterback. That's the whole thing. And you guys talked about it earlier on in the podcast too. Quarterback is your most critical position. You guys could see it right now where you guys transition from, you know, Matt Ryan, you'd go to Mariota hoping he's going to be the guy. Guy can't get over 200 yards passing. Like you go basically to the next guy, you know, Tyler Heineke to Ritter or whatnot. Same thing, same results, same everything. Like it's the thing is though, if you get a Belichick, my opinion, you probably have maybe 3 years with the guy before his health is going to decline at that point. I mean, dude, 25 years as being a head coach with the Patriots or whatever it is insane. Like that is, I was thinking about that the other day. Well, I was thinking about that the other day. There is legitimately generations that have only known the Patriots as Belichick. That's it. This is like a first time that they're like, wow, now we got Gerard Mayo as our dude. Like, I don't know what to expect at this point. So my point is that if Belichick came over here, I don't think it's going to happen, but you know, he's got a quarterback and he could legitimately, you're looking at 3 years with this guy. You're looking at 3 years and that's it. Max.
Yeah.
So.
My thought though is like, doesn't this guy look like he's constipated all the time? I mean, look at all the time. I mean, come on, dude. Come on. Guys in the chat, what do you guys
think? Is for?
It's like, hey, bro, let's get you some what is that, Metamucil in your diet or something. You know what I mean?
Fiber.
Yeah.
But I mean, I heard the same thing. The rumors was Belichick coming to you guys, like Falcon. And I'll say a point about that. So think about when Belichick came over to the AFC North. Is it Northeast? Is what? Yeah, he's a part of the East. That division, he stronghold that division for 20 years. Nobody competed with him, period. Now you look at what the NFC South is. you just need one good coach in that division that could just take over that division.
Yeah.
And Belichick could be that dude for like, just if you guys get him, could elevate your team like crazy.
Easy.
Yeah, as long as
easily
you don't even
taken over.
as long as there's like some kind of
he could be that, but I'm scared that he could be there. He could fix up everything, and he could be just what we needed, or he could be the girl from like a high school who you see in person.
Not her, not Regina.
You look good like on the Nets when you got the filter on, when you got the right angle. At the grocery store, it didn't hit the same. And that's what I'm scared of that. I'm just scared. I don't know. And I'm saying he could be one of the, he might be our savior or the girl at the grocery store. And I'm so scared, man. I mean,
there has to be a succession plan, I would think. Like when you're interviewing Bill, like that's got to be part of the conversation. It's
100%.
Okay, right. Like how long do you know how long you plan on coaching? I mean, are you wanting to go 10 years? You wanting to go 3 years, 5 years, whatever? And if so, okay, so we got to have somebody in place whenever you decide to call it a day, because like I'm cool with the 4-year rental if it means we're going to the playoffs and we're having a chance at the Super Bowl. Like I'm fine with that. But like if it's not, then and I gotta believe Arthur Blank is a good enough businessman where he wouldn't just say like, I don't care about anything else. I don't care if you want 1-2 years, just come in now. Like I don't think, because dude, the fans are around here are on edge, man. They're so on edge. Like they are fucking pissed that there's wasted 3 years basically, building this roster that's not even, that didn't set 3, 7, and 10 years, like you pick an 8th again, where you're supposed to be winning the division this year. So it's like, there's so much pressure on them to get this hire right. And I think he knows that, but like, I would look as far as Twitter and like when we do our show, Mike, wouldn't you say easily 90% of the folks don't want Bill? I mean, like they're like it's huge and it's crazy because he's probably the greatest coach in NFL history. But it's just the circumstances around it, And I do think that both of our squads are very attractive. It should be for any coach because you guys already have the QB in place, and it's just like Mike said, it's probably a tweak here or there. You're going to add some guys, and you're in a good spot. And we're basically okay. If you bring in a young coach, you can pick your QB. Do you want to move up in the draft? Let's try to move up. Let's try to get one of these guys. So, I mean, I think it's a good spot for whoever. But those rumors won't quit. They're not going to stop until I mean, until
he decides that he actually is going to be retired. Like that's the rumors are just going to keep going. But I actually just looked up real quick. There's a page here that talks about the oldest coaches that have ever coached the game. And on the top of the list is Romeo Crennel. And he coached all the way up to the age of 73. And so like that's, I mean, realist, but the next person up was this guy named George Hallis, and he was coaching all the way up to 72. He's really old. It's like 1920 to 1967.
That's old, dude. That's old.
I mean, old coaching, dude.
Pete Carroll and Saban just retired at the same age, basically. So I mean, it's like they're calling
all these 70 plus head coaches out. It's like out with the old, in with the new. And that's the whole thing concerning about like Belichick is his style too old for the NFL now. Like
somebody said he had a Flintstone playbook in the chat. It was hilarious.
Flintstone tablet. No, man. What Amber just said too. I think what she was saying about like he's too shifty and bossy. Look, the way the structure, we found out, the way the structure here is in Atlanta. I mean, like the GM and the head coach. No, they're equal. They're 50-50. That's the way it's been. You think he's going to want a 50-50 split?
Nope.
And I mean, if he does, if he's okay, cool, man. You're in your old age. You're going to chill a little bit. All right, fine. But then you have to report to Rich McKay, who's not even the GM. He's like the director of football operations. Then we have our actual GM, Terry Fontenot, who's basically just responsible for pro personnel. So it's like there's different levels here, man. Like, so I don't know that he's just going to jump right in and be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll report to him and him and him, and we're good. So that doesn't seem very Bill-like.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. But bros, hold on. I got a question for y'all. I've been waiting to ask you this. I'm glad James joined because all three of y'all need to answer this. I've heard the bros. I've heard y'all say stuff about the running game for the season, and I agree with you. I heard you say something about the quarterback. See, I agree with you. I heard you say something about the coordinator. I agree with you. I heard you say something about the coach. I agree with you. I want to know, has the Balt Bros turned on the ownership yet? Have y'all finally made the turn where now you blame the ownership like these dudes are fucking up? Or like, I want to know, are you there yet, or is that the next step, or are you not there yet? It's not the owner's fault.
Andrew, you want to answer that one?
Yeah, I think so.
I got a lot I can unload on that one.
Yeah. I agree 100%. I think they've gone.
Hold on, all the bros started talking. You see the frustration? You see the frustration I just called? I just ripped the scab off.
I'm loaded up.
Yep. In short answer, I'll say yes. And then James and Kyle, what do you think?
All right, so let's go back to when they left San Diego and basically just abandoned the city of San Diego, took off.
Yep.
That was kind of the pivot point for the fan base at that point. And they left and they just took off. They were burning jerseys in front of the headquarters. They were just rioting dang near. They bounced. And so they went to a new territory, which once again, you go to LA, you're in the second largest NFL market in the United States. Like, you're going to have a lot of exposure right next to basically the NFL networks there. You're going to go to a multi-billion dollar based stadium. Great. All really good. But you abandoned basically a fan base at that point. So if you really look at a lot of these fans that are from San Diego, and then they'd be like, well, my buddies used to be big old fans or whatnot of this team. They bounced on us. They abandoned us. And still to this day, they don't do anything to try to even promote anything in San Diego at all to try to keep those fans, engaged with the team. They almost are just like, those fans are like bitter. I'm all about the Padres basically now. Screw the Chargers. The Chargers are going to charger and do their things all the time. And that's the same old story. And going to the ownership, that's on them, in my opinion. They did a bad transition from San Diego to LA. And on top of that, now when you're starting to look at some of the choices they've made since they've gone there, 3 first-time head coaches, pretty much 3 years, 4 years, they're out kind of thing. Same old thing over and over and over again. They're getting better about spending money on players, but at the same side, I've always said we got this beautiful Lamborghini right now with a 4-cylinder VTEC Honda engine in it right now. We got to get that engine. We got to get that engine. And we're missing that. And so the whole thing with this offseason, the hype on Jim Harbaugh, he's coming to the Chargers. If that doesn't happen, it would be bad. Base, I think, could really, really turn quickly on them, even further than what they've done.
So they would finally pony up the money, you think, for Harbaugh?
Well, I think it's almost like a peer pressure thing now at this point. Like, the media is hyping them up like crazy. So
what if you win a Super Bowl? How much more is the team worth?
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
and spend money to make money. You know,
and the Spanos could sell the team, I think, in 3 years, Kyle? Is that right?
I think now 2. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say he wins a Super Bowl these 1 or 2 years. We just hype it, or even go to the Super Bowl for heaven's sakes, right? The value is just going to skyrocket. So that's a great investment for them. You got Herbert. You need a coach. Do it. Do it.
Well, and you just do it. Just to jump on that further. So I did a video talking about, can they afford Jim Harbaugh? Well, I went based upon their profitability, what they had in 2022, and it was like $78 million. Ironically, the Falcons were like top 5 in profitability as a team in 2022. So they got money. They got plenty of money. For the Chargers, they were like bottom 5 or something like that at 78 million. But then you got the Rams at like 200 million or whatever they made. So it's just a vast difference in the amount of money that they made. I broke it down and said, okay, of the 4 siblings of the Spanoses, give or take, they'll make at that $78 million, they're going to make $15.5 million. Well, if they decide to throw some money at a head coach and, say it's $15, $18, $20 million, well, let's say you'll cut into maybe probably $4 million of your profitability. But how many millions do you need after the amount of millions you've made? But at the same side, you'll get tenfold just for season tickets, merchandise, all that kind of stuff, the hype. You'll get so much more if you invest just a little bit more money. So it would be a massive eggs on their face if they don't do it and get hard.
Bro, this is peer pressure to the top. He gonna have to do it now because James, he just went in his account. So it ain't like he can say he ain't got the money. It's like you asking a girl for something and say, "Oh, I don't went in your bank statement already."
Yeah.
You got the money.
Yeah, you got the bucks, man.
money here. Yeah, so
I straight pocket checked him. I pocket checked him real quick, dude.
Well, even if it did,
know.
Even if it didn't work out, at least the fan base could be like, okay, I understand why you did it though. Like, I mean, you went after the best coach possible for this team, and it didn't work. All right, that's fine. But hey, you went and you tried. You know, like
that's 100%, 100%. And that's all it is. They need to try something different.
Coupon Tom.
Yeah. That's how we are this year with the. That's how we feel with the quarterback position. I mean, like I'm normally not for trading away picks, but when you got Caleb Williams, Drake May up at the top two, and if those, I mean, if the Bears want to possibly trade, I'd be all for it. And I know we have to give up something. I know we have to give up a first and maybe even but like you got to have the QB. You know what I mean? Like, so 100%. It's like if you, the fan base, we would be okay with like, all right, hey, you made the shot at this guy because everybody kind of agrees this guy is a superior talent, and he should be great in the NFL. And if you don't, okay, fine, but hey, you shot your shot, So like swing and a miss, swing or hit, So we would much rather do that than go with the
100%.
Yeah, you know that guy in the car say, "Come on, Dad," and you say, "Man, there's stuff in the house to eat." That's Spanos. It's always stuff in the house. It's stuff in the house. Make a sandwich. I don't want no sandwich.
Oh, you guys two like the only thing that's left is the two hill pieces left in the bread.
It's food in the house.
There's food in the house. Well, I want chicken. I want something different.
Yeah, you hook it up. Hook it up. Speaking of you guys for your off season, so I saw some like rumors and everything, and I think Aether talked about it in the chat too, just about you guys wanting to go after Jaden Daniels.
Here we go. This is it. I was just gonna bring that up too.
Oh, perfect. So this is kind of like his prediction is, and I've seen kind of mocks where you guys are trading up to go get Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so Aether's prediction is that they'll trade up with Arizona. They'll give up a second and fourth this year, second next year, get a fourth, and then the third this year they will draft, Daniels, LSU quarterback. With Jaden Daniels, so he was at ASU, and I went to multiple ASU games and watched him play. And I think he had a very good skill set. He had Brandon Ayuk, I think, as one of his receivers, who's an absolute stud for the Niners. When he left ASU, there was videos of him, and they were like, "Oh man, this fool cleaned out his locker. Oh, he sucks anyways." They were just bagging on him hard. Once again, he went to the right system. He went to LSU and balled out. Like, that's the whole thing, and that's where coaching matters at this point for you guys. 100%. If you guys get a Belichick and you get a Jaden Daniels or something like that, I think there could be a really, really good fit for you guys on something like that. So I just want to hear your guys' thoughts on something like that. And
then even trading up too, because you're probably gonna have to trade up for him too.
You probably will have to trade up for him.
Do you do that or do you not do that? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, for me, if the first two guys are gone and Jaden's still there, I don't think Jaden's making it to 8. So I think we'd have to move up, and I'd be fine with that. Because I'll be cool with that because, I mean, his skill set is pretty special. I mean, he's 6'4", 215. So I need him to put on, like I told Mike last week, I need to eat like a cheesburger a day for the next couple of months. Like he needs to put on about, because
that all you can eat diet.
Because he likes to run, which is fine. But I mean, like. But he will get lit the fuck up at his weight if he's not available to protect himself a little bit better.
Yeah, right.
In the NFL, but and I wouldn't mind, honestly. Even I think if you draft somebody at 4, you expect him to come in and start right away. But if it's Bill, I don't know if he's that way. I think he may even want to go get one of the vets that's out there, and then have Jaden sit behind him for a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think Drake May, Caleb Williams, they're coming in and they're starting immediately wherever they're at. And I mean, I think Jaden probably could, because like I said, he's got a fantastic skill set. I'll be fine moving up to get him. But yeah, I mean, it's just after that, the drop to Penix and the other guys is pretty substantial. I mean, so
Penix got injury issues too, right? So
he does have injury issues, and like our right tackle's not great as far as pass protection goes, so he might die. And so like there's that concern for him. I mean, he's a great run blocker, but he can't fucking pass protect to save his life. But so I mean, long-winded answer, but I'd be cool moving up to get him. And with the right system that's like you said, Andrew. That's like the most paramount thing, and he would have fit. I think Arthur Smith's system really damn well, you know. And now it all depends on the head coach. I mean, for what they see as their type of, you know, their guy that they want, you know.
So you guys will get Mike Vrabel, and then Arthur Smith will come back in as the offensive coordinator. Is that what's going on?
There'll be nobody in the building. There'll be nobody in the building.
Boy.
Hey, we were talking about that at the my Wednesday night shows. That some people were saying, it's like, well, what if we hired Jim Harbaugh and then brought Brandon Staley back as defensive coordinator? It'd be the same thing. It's like, dude, hell no, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the thing about it with the Falcons, I mean, you guys have a lot of weapons and young weapons. Like, it's about finding that quarterback that could really just lock on with those players. I mean, you got a great running game. Tyler Algier is a great player.
Still angry we didn't draft him, by the way.
I know.
Angry.
I totally
I wanted him so bad.
And then obviously Bijan Robinson, stud. And when I was watching a lot of the Falcons games this year, I was like, dude, stick to the running game. Just grind out the games as much as you possibly can. Like, just let Ritter to have maybe 15, 20-ish passes, just small little dink and dunks, grind the game out. You got essentially Cordell Patterson, too, on top of that. You want to throw him out there, too. Let him run. Just grind out the game as much as you can. And then Drake London, great player. Van Jefferson, I liked him when I think he was with the Rams for a little while there, too. You got Kyle Pitts.
He was shit.
Jonnu Smith. You guys had dudes that, like, man, I really wish that's what, and I was hoping that's what the Falcons were going to do the entire year, and they didn't. It just seemed like they just, once again, I think Kyle even said square peg, round hole. They were trying to just fit into the wrong hole and just kept going.
No, I'm gonna be honest. It's so maddening because he's doing this, and this is the why he's doing this every game. Okay, that's the obvious thing, but he's probably now thinking that. See, I'm thinking that he's thinking that I'm thinking that he's thinking that I'm thinking that he's thinking.
Right.
And when you get to the 12th one, he just does some cartoon shit.
That's what I'm saying.
And your hand is on your head, like all you had to do was run the ball. It's like when Pete Carroll was down on that goal line.
Oh, yeah, yep.
If you got Marshawn Lynch behind, you have a battering ram. Why are you overthinking this? Like, it's a weird thing that coaches do sometimes.
We got 4th and 1, shotgun toss.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, what the fuck?
What are you doing?
Why? You know, like, I mean, like, and it was that happened on a pretty regular basis. But what's hilarious, what's crazy is Drake London broke Julio Jones' consecutive season record for receptions in Atlanta.
Really?
And nobody would ever guess that. But I mean, with the shitty quarterback play that we've had, so like, just imagine what he could do with the better quarterback, you know. And like the secondary guys, we haven't had a wide receiver too, really, in a couple of years. Like, it was supposed to be Mac Hollins, and he kept kind of just going down. Now he plays special teams and maybe, you know, occasionally receives. And then Scotty Miller got him involved a little bit, but not enough. Van Jefferson didn't do a damn thing when he got here. It was a comedy of errors, dude. It was just bad. Like the
comedy of errors. John Yates was brutal. Jesus.
It was, dude. When I started doing the film, I started doing the All 22 review the week of the Minnesota game, and it was just like, oh my God, like every week. I mean, you would see open receivers missed every week, like, or just not thrown to, you know, and that was like just not seeing the field, not reading the entire field, and some of the play calls too. I mean, honestly, the more I watched the film, the less I hated Arthur, because like some of the play calls were crazy, but overall, if you had better quarterback play, Arthur keeps his job. We win a division, and we're not even having this discussion right now. Like,
exactly right.
I mean, there was literally, I could count, there was 2 or 3 plays you could say, okay, if this play is made, we win that game. We're not having this discussion, you know. And it was literally just coming down to like, oh, he's literally open and you're looking at him, but you didn't throw him the ball.
Yeah,
like,
right. What's the hesitation? Yeah.
So we got a couple thoughts in here. Dennis Young says, Atlanta, would you want Fields if Caleb Williams doesn't want to play for the Bears? And then secondarily, out of your Falcon mind, Aether says, would you be willing to trade up for the number 5 pick with the Chargers if Daniels is available, or whoever, right? Drake May or whoever. So, and what would that look like?
For the Fields question, again, I think Fields would have fit really good with Arthur Smith's offense. I don't know. I don't think Bill Belichick wants Justin Fields, personally. If that's, you know, I don't think he's going to try to put his, you know, all of his eggs in that basket. I like Justin. I think Justin He had nothing to work with for a long time in Chicago.
Yeah,
Terrible
for
offensive
sure.
line, zero
sure.
weapons whatsoever. He tried the run game was Justin, and he almost got killed doing that. But this year, as they've given him weapons, as the offensive lines got, as the defense got better, which gave him opportunity to actually be on the field in better position, he's gotten a lot better. Like, it's definitely, you can tell, like, he's progressed. So I wouldn't mind seeing him in Atlanta. He's obviously, he went to high school 10 minutes from us, you know, and I mean, he'd be a hit as far as that goes. But a lot of folks would be okay with him. Again, that just comes down, if I knew the head coach, I could give you a more direct answer. But I think Mike and I both would be fine with it. It just depends on the head coach.
Man,
and then
all we need is like Alex Smith. That's all we got to get is a heartbeat.
Game manager.
Just a heartbeat. Just a heartbeat, and we will go to the playoffs. Because the rest just be functional and lucid. That's it.
Functional and lucid.
What was the second part?
AKA not Joe Biden.
Not Joe Biden.
No.
That's all you gotta be is not Joe Biden. You could be
Joe Byron. Joe Byron.
Joe Byron.
Well, and the thing is, though, like, I thought Tyler was going to be that guy for you.
Me too, James.
Taylor Henneke. I'm sorry.
Man,
I thought he was going to be that dude.
James, man, I said he was taking us to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Well, I was going to even add. I was even going to add, based upon our conversation, you guys haven't had like a wide receiver 2 for a while. Yeah. Like, what if there's like this point where, and we've had talks about this with like trying to shed, you know, salary into this offseason, because we're in kind of a salary cap hell, you know, going into this offseason. We've talked a little bit. I've thought about it. What if there's a trade up situation, or you guys trade up to go to the 5th pick with us? We get some extra picks out of you. We even send over, well, we get your 8th pick, and we send over you guys like Mike Williams. Me as being a GM, you know, that makes sense to me, because then it brings you guys to have an established wide receiver to be able to teach those younger guys on that team. And, you know, you guys basically go get a quarterback to be able to let it grow with the younger squad and everything too. I don't know. I mean, what's your guys' thoughts on something like that?
I'd be okay with
that. James. Man, hold on. Call ownership. What you telling us for? Call off the blank and run that by him, buddy.
Let's go. Hey, I'm interviewing with the Chargers this Sunday for the GM position. So you know what? I'm going to start throwing some ideas.
I'm going to call Thanos right now. Let's go.
Oh yeah,
Joe Wooden.
Yeah, but I would be okay actually with the previous, whatever the question was about moving up to 5. Yeah, I would trade up to 5 to get to, again, if Jaden Daniels is still there. Because do y'all know who drafts after you guys? Who's 6 and 7? Because I don't have
it's the Giants at 6, which you
don't need a quarterback. I think they said Daniels.
Tennessee 7. You know, so is Will Levis, Mayo Levis, is he going to be the guy there or not? So
yeah, it's a tough one though, because you kind of figure like, okay, Giants definitely not going quarterback. Tennessee's kind of the wild card, because they only invested a 2nd round into Levis, so they could say like, you may be the guy, but we'll bring in this guy, you know, to compete though. So that's a tough one.
He said it sucks for Mike Williams to come to LA. Hey! Shots fired. You just hit me in the back. I was running away.
We're the same team, damn it. We're on the same team.
So I have a question, bro. I have a good one for you. If you need help, if you need help at receiver, and you can go grab an old guy for the low for hardly no money, you can get one of these 4 old guys. If he washed up, you still got some juice left. But who do you want? You can go get Deshaun Jackson, or you can go get AJ Green, or you can get OBJ, or you can get Julio Jones. Who you bringing to the Chargers and why?
Oh boy,
for like a low amount of money.
Like
I would probably say Odell. Reason being, because I think he's got a little juice in his leg still. I'm kind of got something in the tank, you know, because AJ Green, man, he's went through hell with basically the Bengals forever and ever and ever, and then got stuck in Arizona, and that didn't go over well. And then you think Julio, didn't he just recently like hit a record or something? Who's he playing with again? I can't remember.
He scored a couple of touchdowns with the Eagles a few weeks ago.
Eagles,
okay, right? He's with the Eagles. I forgot about that. Yeah,
good situation. Well, it's kind of a good situation over there. They're struggling hard right now. I'm sticking with Odell. I'm sticking with Odell.
Yeah, I think so too. I will say this, Kyle. What do you think? What do you think?
I think Deshaun. Like, why not?
You
know, like, just to be a little different. Why not? Like, yeah, I like it.
A little different.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I do have an interesting question though for the Bolt Bros and even out of your Falcon minds, guys. And H4 brings this up. We get Harbaugh. Let's say we got to pick at 5. I'll be honest with you. We'll probably trade back. Well, I would like us to trade back. If we don't trade back, I wouldn't be surprised if we get Joe Alt.
Hell of a pick
for the right side, because you got to remember Harbaugh runs the ball first. He runs power, and he wants a fullback. We might even get our old friend Xander Horvath back.
Xander Horvath,
yeah. And so again, that's not going to be a very popular pick.
No,
right? Definitely not a sexy pick.
No.
But H4 is exactly right, because it goes back to what Kyle said. You got to have a running game in the NFL.
Yep.
And dude, guys, do you realize how bad we were in the running game? We didn't have a single offensive lineman that was ranked over 60 in run blocking. Not one.
Damn.
They were horrible.
Yeah,
So
I gotta tell you, Storm Norton did okay for us this year.
Hey,
I forgot. I forgot he was with you guys.
We forgot he was on your team. Oh my gosh.
He had to be brought in because McGarry went down with injury, and I remember what you guys said, and I was like, on our podcast, we were like, oh shit, like Bull Bros hate this motherfucker. This is gonna be bad. And dude, he like the first game, he was like a PFF of like a 70 something and run blocking. We're like, oh shit, this guy's actually throwing people around. Then game later was terrible in the pass protection. But then it was like, oh, there he is, And but dude, overall though, I mean, you actually have folks in Atlanta like going like, I think we should leave him in. Like,
yeah, they did.
Like, leave him in.
Yep.
So yeah,
really.
Yeah, I mean. Truth is, he probably learned a few things, by now. He wasn't good enough for us, but you know what? I mean, that's always
it wasn't good enough for us.
The way that it works, though, everyone they suck for us, and then they go somewhere else, and then they freaking turn into like a freaking all pro or something like that.
Dude, you started to talk about like your ex-girlfriend. Yeah, she wasn't good enough for me, but you can have her.
I was just about to. I ain't want her no more, but hey, man, that's good for you.
Hey, just like the boy Coop, man.
Oh
just
my
God!
Yeah,
right?
oh, young way, yeah. For you, that was a big miss for us too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
man!
Oh, you gotta kill me. Okay, so Aether says, does anyone want to watch the Michigan defense in the title game? Bro. I'll tell you what, they look great. They look physical.
Yeah. Super physical.
That's why everyone's just like focused on him, like, because that's what we don't play that way. We play like 2-hand touch out there all the time, and in the NFL you can't do that, man. You gotta.
Dude, I think Washington's right tackle was he should have had some help. He should have been year and a half. Something was. I mean, like he was getting obliterated all game long.
I never understand how like coaches don't recognize that and think, let's throw a tight end there to help him out.
Something. I mean,
do something.
That was
like,
bad,
come on,
man.
chip him.
And Mason Graham from on Michigan's defense. I mean, they got a couple of guys, but Mason Graham was just causing havoc.
And he's only a sophomore, isn't he?
He's only a sophomore. Yeah,
which is crazy, dude.
It is.
Oh my gosh, man.
Mm-hmm.
But
y'all think the Chargers are soft because I hear everybody kind of saying that in the chat saying, do y'all think the team in general is a non-physical team?
We've been there.
So
yeah,
it goes back to what I said earlier that he's a player coach. He let everyone do whatever they wanted to do, but they had no discipline. And you needed to have him go out there and say, sorry, you're going to sit if you don't block the way I want you to block.
I got you.
If you don't take plays off. It like Keenan Allen. I love Keenan Allen, but he wasn't great in the wide receiver block game to help the run game. Big time. It's team offense and defense. And, Brandon says, hey, I got these great guys, but he put no parameters around them being successful. So that's my take on it.
Well, and the big part of it is like, I love watching the Niners and how physical their players are, wide receivers are, defense. They play to the whistle and they just will get involved. Like there was this one run early in the season where I think it was Brandon Ayuk. Well, actually, it's Christian McCaffrey running downfield, but Brandon Ayuk the entire time was running downfield, blocking people all the way almost to the goal line. And like Christian McCaffrey, I think behind the scenes is like, dude, you were there the whole time helping me out. Like you helped me get to this point. Never saw that with the Chargers. It's like,
Nope.
oh, like that one guy's got that person. Oh, nope, missed tackle, touchdown kind of thing. Just never felt like there was a lot of physicality at all. When you watch the Michigan game, we're like, wow, it's weird to see that 3 people want to tackle the same guy to make sure he's down. Weird, really odd to watch. So physicality is massive, massive thing that we've missed in this team for sure.
That's how we felt under Dan Quinn it was absolutely. Yeah, we were a fast, all gas, no brakes, whatever fucking slogan he threw out that week, and there was no like substance to it. Like, I mean, you got guys running out of bounds, you got guys making business decisions, and there was a few, don't get me wrong, like Grady Jarrett, this rookie year there, the year we went to the Super Bowl, and Deion Jones, some of the guys were, legit. Keanu O'Neal, like they come down and lay a wood on you. But overall, I think the sense from the league was that's a soft squad. That's overall it's a soft mentality. And Mike and I said it before on the show all year long. We'll give Arthur Smith credit for that because he completely changed that culture around. And you brought in Ryan Nielsen with his defense. Defense was just hitting people in their mouth all year long. Yeah, they were. I mean, that was just that was fun to watch. So yeah.
That's one thing I read up.
I just want to say this, dog. He's a bad coach. I don't think he's a great coach. He's a bad coach. He's a poor coach. But to change that was almost priceless. It's the toughest sport in the world, and to be called like the softest team in the toughest sport, it's horrific. It's a horrific experience. Like if the whole league man, but that team soft. I didn't like that, and that went on since I was a kid until he came. So he didn't win a lot, and I think he's a poor head coach. But to change that, they will hit you in the mouth now, and they're not running out of bounds. I don't care if it's the receiver, he inflict the blow. If it's the running back, he inflict the punishment. He did that. It all came from that one head coach with the stupid mustache. So I love him for that. So I love the guy for that. And I had all these jokes. I was trying to tell John I had a joke. I had a skit when he got fired. I thought it would be funny. And it just wasn't funny. It didn't feel funny. It didn't feel good because somebody got fired. I felt like I was wrong. So I didn't do it. But I was very, very grateful for what he did do. He did pick a lot of great players. And the dude changed our entire culture of our team. So there's no way I could ever talk bad about the man or try to make fun of him. I would buy him a beer if I saw him, and I would give him a thumbs up in traffic. So but I'm glad he got fired at the same time. I know that sounds crazy. I'm glad he got fired, but I love him.
Man, that's wild because, like, I know a lot of Chargers fans are they're like, if we see Brandon Staley on the street, it's gonna be like that dude that jumped over the judge's bench. Like,
Brandon got to move a whole nother state.
I mean, I don't know how the players. I mean, I know the players aren't probably going to shit on the guy after he leaves anyway. But like all of our guys were just like they were hurt by it. They loved Arthur, man. They played hard for him.
Now I have to ask you, to be fair, if there's one thing Brandon did good that you think he was great at this, it would be what? Come on, you got to give him something.
I think that he was really good with his words. So I think he kind of got a little bit into that.
He talked a lot.
He talked a lot. It's like so.
Nothing on the field.
He talked really, really well, and he talked like he knew what he was talking about. So it's kind of like when you go to like a job interview and you're like, or actually a coworker, and you're like, how did this dude get this job? He just talked his way through it, and he got that job, and you're like, this dude ain't gonna last 2 weeks here, man. No way. But I think he just was great with his words. I think he was eloquent with what he said, but he just actions speak louder than words. What was on field was totally different. It just never got better. It never got better. I mean, that's where my thoughts are. I don't know if any other bros got ideas on that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like he knew what to say. He knew what to say. And there's a difference between drawing it up on a chalkboard and saying, "Oh, this is how you do it," and then getting your players to perform, right? He couldn't get them to perform. And he had a massive hard-on for Derwin James, right? Derwin James had 125 tackles, right? But he was 6 different positions on the field. Like, what in the hell is he supposed to do? I mean, come on. So, yeah, he couldn't get the team to do better. By the way, interesting statistic. I was just doing some back of the napkin math. The last 3 games that Brandon Staley was gone after we got absolutely eviscerated by the Raiders, which makes me want to barf even thinking about. by 66 points. I mean, that was just embarrassing. The team just gave up on him. We averaged 17 points per game after that.
Big
that would have ranked us at least top 10 in defense.
Yeah, for sure.
At least top 10 in defense. And you can make arguments, well, the Chiefs didn't play their starters. Denver was kind of, whatever. But guys, if we were just that this season, it would have been a completely different season for us. And it just goes to show you Brandon Staley did not do it. He did not do it. It was all on him.
17 points, that would have put us in the top 4 position. Now,
top 4. There we go. Top 4,
right behind the Baltimore Ravens at 16.5 points. So it essentially put us at 2 position as a defense.
Isn't that crazy, dude? I was just like, I'm going to check that out real quick. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You have to quit the sport. If you are the head coach of a football team, if you are a leader of men, and we ask people what's the best trait about you, and they say, man, he's fucking eloquent, quit.
Yep.
It's over. Just quit. He's eloquent is like not the thing. Not the thing.
Yeah.
It's like being at your job and like, what's the best thing your coworker does? He picks a great spot for lunch. He's really good at picking food. He hasn't missed yet.
This dude's palate is immaculate. He's got
right. His palate.
Yeah. I mean, damn. But no, it was. With Arthur, it was like, okay, with 4 weeks left to go in the season, it came out that barring an end of the season collapse, he was safe for 24. And so we go out, we beat the Saints. Then we lose. Who we lose to, Mike, after the Saints? Oh, the Bucks. We needed to beat the Bucks. We lost. We needed to beat the freaking Panthers, and we lost. And then we come back with Taylor Heineke against the Colts, and we beat them by 3 scores, right? It was like 29-10. We're like, oh, shit. All right, we're good. And then just get embarrassed the final 2 games, and with the Bears was terrible. And then going out against the Saints, the way we went out, your rival, and just to get blown off the field.
That was bad.
We were like, okay, there's no way he's surviving this. And then there was like, some of the fans, a very few amount, but like there's some of the guys were like, man, I'm curious to what the offense would look like with a different quarterback, a better quarterback. Like I think I said, I know it would have been better because watching the film, it was there, but he just hadn't earned the right to do it at that point. Like, dude, you picked these guys, and like there's got to be some type of you got to own that, number one, and two. Like, there's no way in hell Arthur Blank and management is going to sell the fans on him coming back next year. You're going to get to pick your 4th quarterback now. We're going to trust you to develop him at this point, which didn't happen. Like, it's just, I think he'll still have success, whether it's an offensive coordinator, head coach, whatever. Because I think he'll learn a lot from this whole experience. I don't think he's an idiot, but I just think he just, like I think somebody said earlier in the show, like about the ego thing. I think he just wanted to prove that this is the offense. It can work. It's going to work, but it just never did. Like, even though you just kept trotting it out there, it just never worked.
So I know with Brandon Staley, the argument, the big rub with him that I think pissed him off is Vic Fangio came up with the too high safety look. Vic Fangio, they call it cover 6, or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah,
I think he came up with his pattern match zone defense. That was his baby. My baby's going to work. But again, it just goes to show you, when he was let go, Derek Ainsley came in and said, great, guys, what do you want to run? Pick these plays that you want to run. 17 points a game. They played more physical. They had more interceptions. Clearly, what he was saying did not resonate. But again, pride cometh before the fall. It's one of the conversations I've said all the time. And sometimes you got to stop and look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, man, this ain't it. This didn't work out. And we need to make some adjustments. And it does shock me that people are so unwilling to do that. And that's just a life lesson, I think. Why do people not do that? It's pride. I don't know.
It's big things. Obviously, always ego for sure.
Big time.
Like, biggest thing for me is like what I always liked about Staley, to go back on that a little bit, is that he made aggressive play calls. Like, going for it on 4th down. Like, that was the birth of Big Ball Staley. We all liked that about him.
He stopped.
He stopped. He cut his own balls off this season. And so he wasn't who he was. He was a shell of a man after the Jacksonville playoff game.
Shell of
You know?
a man.
A shell of a man. Woo.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's
like
harsh.
I said. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I mean,
He's
the
still getting
dude
paid $4 million next year.
still
So
getting paid
whatever.
$4 million.
Paid.
You know what? And I think he can cry, himself to sleep and wipe his tears with his stacks of Benjamins, so that's fine. It's fine. He's all right. Like I can talk shit about him if I want to, so but the biggest thing is that he was just insane. Like he just became insane because he kept doing the same thing over and over and over. So it's just,
I couldn't believe on that. I forgot which game it was after, but when they asked the question about something about the fans, and he was like, "I don't care what the fans."
Yeah.
Like I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You can't say that. Like you can't say that out loud."
That's when he lost me. At that moment, I'm like, okay, he's done.
Right.
He's done.
Yeah.
Eddie just said that the Falcons interview Bengals OC Brian Callahan for the head coaching position. So
you gotta like what he brought to the Bengals, man. I mean, I think the Chargers are actually putting a scheduled out interview with him too. And I mean, dude, just to keep that team afloat after Burrow went down.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's our buddy Steven, who was on the show with us a few days ago. Well, yesterday. Thursday. He said about Brian Callahan. He's like, man, he's got their offense looking better with the third than we had with our first, which is, all you need to know. But
that's
go ahead,
awesome.
Here's what I say too. I just got to say this. You have to have people always in your experience who will tell you that you sound stupid as shit right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Call you out.
Stupid.
100%.
But it's just some stupid shit you're doing. I still have to have that. And I'm a grown ass man. Because I do stupid shit all the time. Here I go. I'm like about to. I need someone to say, hey, man, stop. And I think if you don't have that, you just spin off and you think I'm always right. Because I'm around 20 people who like don't check me and who don't say this is stupid or this is bad. And I felt like he don't know how to use anything right. I had a joke. I said he probably drive his shoes and he probably walk his car. He don't know how to use anything right. And I'm thinking a person has to tell you, hey man, what the fuck are you doing? Like ownership. There got to be somebody who can step in and say, what the fuck was that? And you should have to explain yourself. Like, man, here's what I was thinking. And the person should say, just stare at you like, what the fuck are you talking? And then they got to tell you. But when no one tells you to have it, it's pretty girl syndrome. Pretty girls can be the bitchiest people on earth because nobody has ever told them anything. You know what I'm saying? They had said, bro, it's kind of rude for you to pick where I have to pay. That's just kind of rude. If I pay, I probably should pick. And if you want to come along, but you shouldn't pick where I pay. It's just shit like that I think, I don't care if you're a head coach, you got to have people around you who would say, man, bro, this is a bad idea, or this is not working, or please stop doing this. And I think if you don't have that, it get worse and worse. And you spin out of control.
Dude, and that's the definition of a good leader too, right?
Right.
Getting people around him to elevate yourself and everyone else collectively, right?
Right.
Yeah. A hive mind.
I'll give you a story time about that exact example, specifically during the Jags game that we had, the playoff game. The collapse that we had, the 27-0, basically.
Don't even remind me of that game.
Ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous. So during that game, there was a point where Brandon Staley came up to the linebacker coach. Was it Michael Wilholt, I think was his name? And he basically chewed out Michael, saying, oh, your linebackers weren't in the right spot for that defensive call. Blah, 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 blah. He's just blaming them and everything. Obviously, it's in front of all the players and everything right now. He's chewing the dude out. Looking at the play, reviewing it. Nope. Linebackers are in the right position. From that point, basically, that's where the game just dipped, because I think a lot of these players are like, yo, I don't think we could really respect this dude calling out somebody and saying that we were in the wrong position. And then you're over here blowing up my coach. Basically, you kind of back him a little bit because he's your guy, that's teaching you. Basically, the game went to where it went, ended up losing that game. Brandon Staley ended up firing that coach after that game, basically. So from that point, like, he was like, no, I'm right, you're wrong. I don't care if you saw that they were in the right place. I was right. Sorry. And now you're fired, dude. And
And that's where Staley actually started this whole philosophy that players win games, not plays. So he's basically putting all the responsibility to the players on everything. Is that, they just didn't execute my plan properly. Like, it's like, dude, well, your plan fucking sucks. How about that?
Yeah. Simple. You just put together a very bad roster, or you didn't call the right play, or you didn't teach them correctly. Either way, it's on you.
Right.
Yeah. And here's what I don't think people get. I don't care if it's in sports or it's in your personals. It's always the both of you. Like you have a hand in it. You have a hand in something. You can tweak some shit on your part too that can change stuff. So you gotta know that, and you gotta tweak something. I don't care if you think it is their fault. Tweak the plan.
Yeah.
Tweak the plan a little bit so it's like easier. Right? So 100%. To me, it's just common sense. But then I say, if I was a coach, I'd be throwing bombs on every play and doing all type of tricks. So I'm gonna just shut up because
I'm going for 2 every point, no matter what. So like,
man, we would never win if I was the coach. So that's why I just try to stay in my lane.
Right?
Yeah. Hey, so Amber, so this we talked about this a little earlier. James, we were 1-9 in one-score games. We set an NFL record this season.
Oh, lose by 3 though. We 1-9 by 1,
basically. Yeah,
but by 3.
Yeah.
I think we're probably like 20 losses there.
Easily. No, it's horrible.
Easily.
How frustrating is that?
So
it's horrible.
Just almost there. Oh, hey, you did the same thing, bro.
This close. Oh man, that's frustrating.
So James, this is your question from Aether.
If you are Chargers GM and trade back, how far would you drop? I would try to stay in top 10. Just so you could get that really key-based type player that could be a day one starter. None of this Quentin Johnston. Hey, you could stay back for 2 years and just collect checks hanging out. Like, no, you need to get a guy that can make an impact right then and there. I think we need a top 10 type pick.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind just trying to stack as many top 100 type picks. If we could get like a 2 or maybe a 3 or something or whatever we could get trading back to 8, 9, 10-ish. Hey, I'll take it all day. So I'd try to stay in top 10. You could go after Brock Bowers. You could go after a right tackle. Potentially could even go after, was it Ndunze? Is that his name? Rome?
From Washington.
That guy's ridiculous.
Dude, Brock Bowers Brock Bowers with you guys would be
phenomenal. I think he would be. The whole idea of the whole right tackle position, in my opinion, is great. We do have a guy, Trey Pipkin, even though he didn't play extremely well or anything. But if you get a tight end like a Brock Bowers, that'll help out that line immediately. Immediately.
He could be special at that position.
100%. Easily. And I don't want to pick a tight end at 5, in my opinion. I want to pick a tight end at 9 or 10 and feel a little bit better about it.
Actually, 4.
Yeah, because you guys got Pitts right at 4, right?
Yeah.
Oh man,
it looked great. I mean, look, the first year he was 1,000 yards. Matt Ryan. It was like, okay, shit, this is great. Then he got hurt. And we had Mariota throwing to him. So we've he's had his issues, but hopefully he comes back strong next year.
Has your fan base checked out, y'all? Like, you think are they like, man, I'm done with this team? This just happened again and again, or are they still bolting up over there?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely a lot of people are checking out. Obviously, a lot of times we get more like 100 people on these streams. We only got like 40 here, so that's one thing. A lot of people just kind of done with it. But
we see it too.
The bigger thing is too, if we don't make a big move this off season, with our new head coaching, get that right. A lot of folks are just not going to show up. I know some people that already sold their, just didn't even get their season tickets again. A lot of people are just like, I don't even care. Our team is just not good. And we're just cursed or whatever like that. It's just a lot of them are already just I'm done. So
would you guys still be Charger fans if we don't get Harbaugh or some big name head coach? What do you guys think in the chat? And go ahead, Mike.
I know, right? Yeah. Dog, here's why I'm crazy. Because no matter how many times I get my heart broke or cheated on, I show up just as foolishly. On week 1. I show up with the hat. You could do me wrong. I'm trauma bonded to you. You could do me wrong 30 times, 50 times. I
Exactly.
never give up.
Look, if I
100%.
can guarantee you almost any, like, for all the Chargers fans that are here, which is most of the folks, I would think.
Yeah.
If you go to our channel and you look at 10 stages of a Falcons fan, I
Mhm.
guarantee you that every stage you can relate to as a Chargers fan.
100%.
Oh, 100%.
Because it's 6 stages of a Charger fan too. It's the same thing.
It's the same
Same
thing.
thing.
It's the same thing.
Same exact
Same
thing.
thing.
Yep.
But the
And
thing
you're
is,
laughing.
I gotta do that one for the Chargers itself. Like,
Oh,
like I
you
saw
got
y'all,
to.
yeah, I gotta do it. Yeah. So
Oh,
No,
100%.
you have to. But I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you, like, let me tell you why the whole screen up here. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I promise you that the 5 of us will show up. I don't care what we say today. I don't care
yeah.
what we say. When training camp is over and that preseason about to start, everybody up here be like, Super Bowl!
Yeah.
undefeated.
yeah, goddamn right. Let's go.
We gonna win it. This is our year.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, we the thing is though, like, I feel even after the draft, then you're like, wow, we got a squad now. Look
Yeah,
at
I'm
this.
telling
Look at this team.
Yeah.
It's April. We can't wait till that training
Yep.
camp opens. Day one training camp, you're there hanging out. You know, you're all-time high, dude. You know,
That's right.
all-time high. Raiders
Have,
fans think they're already winning the Super Bowl after winning 3 preseason
yeah.
games. They think
Yep.
that all the time, dude. But yeah, dude, that enthusiasm comes back real quick,
Yeah,
dude.
all the
yeah.
time. All the
Do you
time.
know
Yeah,
if
real quick.
any of your current coaches have been requested for interviews or anything like that? Do y'all know?
Well,
Have you heard?
we do know that Tom Telesco, our GM, Coupon Tom, was interviewed at the Raiders.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I'm stoked on that. Hell yeah, let him go there and get you guys
Coupon
the
Tom
worst
is
draft
the
picks.
worst for a general manager. That's the worst
Terrible.
name you can have. It's
Terrible.
Coupon Tom.
Oh, it's
For
bad.
his job, that's the
It's
worst.
bad.
Yep.
I know Ryan Ficken, our special teams coordinator, got requested to be interviewed by the Giants, which the Giants have had 3 teams now deny them for special team coordinator. I think it was even the Falcons coordinator too that they denied
Sorry,
even
bro.
have them
Sorry.
interviewed. So
Yeah, no, that's also kind of what gives me pause because with the whole Belichick thing, because the Jags wanted to interview Ryan Nielsen, our defensive coordinator, and we blocked him, and we're like, no. And then the Giants wanted to interview our offensive line coach, said no. And they wanted to interview our special teams coach, said no. So like that makes me think like, okay, well, either they're just covering their own ass, like just in case we don't get Bill, we want to make sure these guys are still here, or Bill is not necessarily at the top of the list and they're still going to go after an offensive guy and they want everybody else to be left in place, so who knows how it could, but I mean, I'm just glad that they're at least blocking those guys. So those are guys that we don't want to see go anywhere.
what's wild to me is that what's happening with the Giants and Brian Dable over there too. I mean, Wink Martindale and them getting in a fighting match or a shouting match or something like that ended up getting him fired, or ended up he's like, I'm out, dude. I'm just gonna leave. I'm done with this. And then the amount of people and coaches that they've tried to go after and getting blocked by all these teams. Maybe they're just doing a solid for these guys. Like, you don't want to go to the Giants, dude.
Maybe
you don't want to be up there.
You don't want to go.
I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I was going to say,
I mean,
the not to go out to the draft, but I know the dude said Joe Alt earlier in the chat, and then you said Bar. Is there any position you guys prefer, or you just like take BPA and at that position and go from there?
I think it goes back to what you said. It depends on the head coach and GM, right? Because they're going to have a vision of where the team needs to go. Again, if it's Harbaugh, I think it's going to be an offensive line. You might even get a defensive tackle, right?
Maybe
some big nasty fat dude, fat muscly dude. You know what I mean? But that's my point. It ain't gonna be a running back, and I don't think it'll be Brock Bowers first pick too. I mean, I think tight ends that early. I know every Charger fan wants him, but I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. Harbaugh it'll be a Joe Alt guy, in my opinion. Some big nasty guy that just wants to punch dudes right in the head. Crazy.
You need to protect your number one asset, Justin Herbert. I mean,
Herbert,
you spent $262 million on that guy. You got to protect him. That'll help out the run game. We could put any Joe Schmo in the backfield. And guess what? He's going to end up, having 100-something plus yard running game if you got a nice solid O-line. And then Justin Herbert could light it up 300 yards plus a game kind of thing.
Yeah, guys. You have your first pick. Who is it in the chat? Who do you want? So we got and by the way, Aether, we are going to be in Atlanta for sure. We are going to be there.
Oh yeah,
AK-47 is his name. You gotta give him a cool nickname. So AK-47. Content that we gonna make when the bros come. I'm gonna have
it's gonna be
20
amazing
ideas ready for them.
Hell yeah, bro, that's awesome.
The roof.
Dude, I can't wait for the schedule release just so we know what that day is gonna be, dude.
Yeah.
We're definitely doing a joint show. We're gonna do some. We're doing some good stuff.
Great
for sure.
Man,
get y'all to a barbecue joint around here.
Please,
I'm down.
Yeah, I'll wrap the food, man.
Fellas, so I do have a game for you all. I'm on your show and I got a game. How cool is that? I mean, come on,
Hell
man.
yeah.
So I'm gonna do one of three. I'm gonna tell you all you have to talk to a person, okay, or a group of people. It's just a different person. I just want to see what you would say. James, I'm gonna start with you, buddy. James, you got to talk to the Vaults fan base. If you could tell them one thing right now, what are you saying to the Charger fan base as a whole?
Man, stay the course, guys. You know, we've gone through a lot, but I have a very big feeling we're gonna turn this corner. I think we're just about there. Once again, I've done videos quite a bit just talking about the whole head coaching thing and even calling out the Spanoses. This is their time to shine, and they got to do it. So just stay the course, guys. We'll get there. We're right around the corner. I swear.
Stay the course. Hey, you heard it from James, right around the corner. Drew, I got one for you. Drew, you got to get a message to Brandon. I mean, you could say any message. You're talking to Staley. What do you want to tell him right now? If you could say anything you want.
Be humble. Really look at what you did. Because here's the thing. I think he walked in. I had the number one defense in the league with the Rams. We went to the Super Bowl. I think that guy just thought he was smarter than every man in the room. And he needs to sit back and say, look at himself in the mirror, make some real serious conversations. I mean, look, he beat cancer. Awesome. That's great. But you need to eventually start saying, hey, man, I can improve who I am. And he said that a lot with his players, but he never really said it to himself, at least in my opinion. He needs to be humble.
That's the funniest shit ever. You beat cancer, but can you beat the Raiders? That's all we care about.
Damn.
I love it. I love it. Kyle,
Donkey Kong by the Raiders. Yeah.
You have gotten in the room with the Spanoses, and you can speak for Charger Nation. What are you telling? You are in the room, and they asking for your opinion, your take, or your advice. What are you telling ownership?
Kyle about to get escorted out by security.
Yeah, see, get the other button under the desk. You know,
yeah.
Oh, that's getting pressed the moment he walks in. Yeah.
This is a lot of pressure here. You know, I'll be like, you know, I would probably just ask them the question: do you even care about football, or do you care about money?
Yeah,
because clearly,
it's a great point.
It's been a running joke with you guys as the owners of this team that you abandoned a fan base. Like you've had 3 first-time head coaches in a row. You didn't want to build a stadium. You paid nothing for the stadium that you now live in. Do you even care about this sport at all? That's the question I'm asking them. And yeah,
fire.
You're getting escorted. Dan Snyder vibe.
Yeah, right.
Oh God.
Yeah. He is getting escorted out.
You know,
I get tasered and then drug out.
I mean, probably. Look, I'll be honest. Like, I've been sitting there watching, like this whole past week, I've been watching Ted Lasso a lot. You know, like, and
fantastic.
It's an amazing show.
Great
Obviously,
show.
It really has not a whole lot to do with the sport, to be honest. It's more about the interpersonal relationships and stuff, which is it's nice and that. But there is some tidbits in there that I'm like, damn, that hits hard right there, because it's like, yes, these people, these billionaires own the team, but it's not theirs. It's the fans' team. The fans have been living with this team for their entire life. A lot of people, like, their whole identity is the fact that they are a fan of this team, the Chargers or the Falcons, you know? And it's literally the only thing that brings them happiness and sadness and stuff, you know, like but these owners, they just, you know, they're just out there making money like hand over fist because, you know, they rely on us diehards. Because look, end of the day, if the Chargers and the Falcons don't win a single game, and, you know, it's like at the end of the season, there's only going to be 5 fans in that stand. That's going to be us 5 in this show right now. We'll be right up there, you know?
So I was just thinking about this and what you were describing about the Spanos is, do you care about money or the team in general? It's kind of like that idea when you're working for a company and you're like, guys, thanks so much. We got the all-time high year. You know, let's celebrate. Hey, I bought some pizzas in the break room. Go check it out. Like, thank you so much for making us tons of money, by the way. And it ain't even like a good
cheese.
It's like a Little Caesars or something back there. And, you know, like, hey, $5 pizzas for everybody kind of thing. And you're like, yo, bro, like, come on. So, like, is that the Spanoses? Would they be willing to do that? Probably. I could say where they're at right now. But, I mean, they have spent some money on players, just not spending the money in the right areas. Coaching goes a long way, guys. If you get a good coach that knows what he's doing, you can make any player be a much better player when you got a leader.
Yeah,
right.
And that's what you need, right?
Which is almost as hard as and it's almost as hard to hit on a coach as it is a QB. I mean, the turnover is so damn. I mean, the Mike Tomlins and the Bill Belichick's are like. I mean, those are the fucking unicorns. Like, those don't exist. I mean, we're talking about 3, 4, like, and used to, you know, the whole atmosphere has changed. So, like, it's not like coaches get 4, 5, 6 years to get it right. You know, it's like 3 years is pretty much what you're getting judged on. And if it's not going in the right direction after 3 years, then you're looking for their new job.
No doubt.
So we'll maybe end it on this. This is one of our GM interviewees. Ron Tabasco. we got Ron Tabasco. I had to say it here. Carlos threw it out there. Ron Tabasco. You know, he's we hear he's the front runner for the job, right? So,
that hair though.
That is great. Man. That is great. You got the caterpillar mustache. I love it. Oh man, that is gold.
Oh my God, it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Are we gonna give him an offer? Or what? Is he gonna work with Harbaugh? You know, Belichick. Whatever happens with all that, you know. But, well, guys, I think it's been awesome having you guys on. But hey, you know, again, we should probably also do a video. Guys, what do you think in the chat? We were thinking about doing maybe some videos with like draft picks, trade up, trade back scenarios, maybe even like mock draft, you know, scenarios. I think we should do some stuff like that as well too. What do you guys think in the chat on that? Because I think that'd be fun.
And hold on, chat too. How the boys should do way more stuff with Out of Your Falcon Mind. Shouldn't they do way more stuff with Out of Your Falcon Mind? John told me, he said, man, how about Saturday with the bros? And I hit him back and I said, don't never insult me by asking the question about the bros. It's just say yes, and then I'll be there at the time you said. And so this is just great, man. And I fucking love you, dudes. I swear to God.
We love chatting with you guys, man. And by the way, guys, congratulations on the success that you guys have been having, the growth and everything you guys have been having with your channel. I mean, once again,
dude,
I pop into your guys' channel and check it on it. You know, I watch a little bit of the Falcons games because hey, you guys are our boys and we like to see what your team's doing and if you guys are falconing and we're chargering. And so, you know, I mean, it's 2 peas in a pod essentially at this point.
That's right. That's right.
Once again, guys, congrats on your guys' growth of your channel and everything too. It's awesome. And it's fun that we kind of started our channels at the same exact time too. And it's fun. I mean, I'm excited for this Falcons Chargers game this year to be able to be out there with you guys.
It's going to be a blast. Look, man. Honestly, I was just explaining to John that podcasts to me, this is just my opinion. Don't shoot the messenger. And my opinion are horrific and boring as shit. I don't care. Horrific and totally boring. When you can, I love John because he allows us. It's just fun. It's fun and it's creative and it's like different. And it's only, I'm gonna be honest, there's only one other podcast that I put up there with Out of Your Falcon Mind, and it's the boys that's on the screen right now. Because it's the same thing to me. It is creative, it's like information, but it's creative and the shit is entertaining. The other guys, it's just spewing information. And how long can I really watch that?
Yeah.
It's all the same information. If it's not man, with graphics and you do memes and you make it funny and you do and all these fucking sound effects where you do fart noises. Get John the way he do his all 22. If you see this shit is all 22, he put in fart noises, all types of groups. It's all entertainment. And I'm gonna be honest, it's only one of people who I know that do that, and that's win, lose, or draw. And it's always positive. And I don't think y'all understand. It be people needing that shit because they take it so seriously.
Yeah,
and, to
real.
see like any graphics or the way that y'all do it is unreal to me. And that's why I always say the world's greatest podcast is my favorite. It's only one podcast that I put, to me, it's the brother sister school, but it's the brother school, right? It's the same thing.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's just the same thing on different coasts. And that's why I love y'all for always keeping it positive, always being funny and keeping it entertaining. Win, lose, or draw, man. I love you, guys.
Man, like
You know,
when
on the same side, dude, Mike, you bring so much fire to everything too. Like you guys, because like you bring like so much engagement for just the fans, and that's what like I think you guys like do so well as well. You know, like I mean, you guys are keeping it factual, but you're keeping it engaging, and like, dude, you guys are like, I mean, we got a lot to learn from you guys as well in that regard too. You know, so man,
100%,
yeah, big hits off, shades off to you. You know what I'm saying,
dude? I'm telling you, man, Mike was after me to do this all 22 thing like for a while, and I was like, I don't know, and I was like, if I do it, I'm not going to do like because you can watch all 22s, and it's just literally folks within there just going through it.
Boring as shit.
If I do this, like I'm going to like do this the way we're going to do this. So like, so I mean, it could be somebody missing the block. There's going to be a fart noise. There's going to be like a big hit. You're going to get like a punch noise. There's going to be, all different types of stuff going on. So that's what we did. And not to mention, like, it was so depressing watching our all 22s. I'm like, man, folks may jump out the window when they watch this shit. So I got to make it funny.
Like it's
right. Yeah, man. So I had to just there's tons of sound effects, there's graphics, all kinds of shit on there. But it's like, we're gonna keep doing it next year because I didn't do it the last 2 weeks because it was just we knew Arthur was done, and this is not even worth my time to do it. But guys, I mean, like it's like Mike said, man. I mean, like we respect the hell out of you guys. We started around the same time. The growth for you guys has been ridiculous.
Love y'all, man.
Very well deserved, man. Very well. Yes. We catch every show that we can. If we can't catch it live, we definitely catch the replay. No doubt. Same thing. Both of us were watching Charger games, like rooting for the Chargers because of I mean, so same thing, man. So we can't.
I was drafting like the Chargers with fantasy football. I said like the damn bros done rubbed off on me. I was picking bad players. I was picking players I had no business playing just to the Chargers. Right. So like but I just want to it's hard to do that, man, because nobody else does it. It's just if something I gotta do, I just do it. But the way that y'all do is you get it and then you make it your own. It's Balt Bros branded. I don't care what it is. It's Balt Bros flavor. And then you put it out. So I don't care what it is. It got to come to you and then you Balt Bros it and then you put it out. It's nobody else like that. It's just the same information. You go on 20 channels, they saying the same shit, the same way, doing the same thing. It's boring and it's played out and it's outdated. I can't fucking watch it. But when the Ball Bros is on, I will chime in there. And my mom likes you guys. She said, anytime the Ball Bros on, I will tune in. And she's an elderly old woman. So shout out to
you. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
And the Cowboys fan on top of that.
Yeah. And she's a Cowboys fan. And she still watches you guys.
That's awesome.
So the whole family love y'all, man.
Yeah.
And it's the combo of personalities is what makes it great, though, because y'all are obviously being brothers, but like just having the different personalities and like each thing that y'all bring to the channel is so different. It's fantastic. So and we get that all the time, obviously, because
lovely guys.
Yeah. Well, you guys are great, man, and I'm excited. So we're gonna do more, guys. So in the chat, you guys had to know we're gonna do plenty more. So all right, guys, we'll end the stream and.
There's some playoff football going on right now, so
no games, pretty much.
Texans Browns right now. Yep.
Get the chips and dip ready. Let's go. All righty, guys.
All right, boys.
All right, guys. See you. Let's go. Let's get out of here, boy.